Beginning intro. Okay. Yeah, the mobile app says I'm offline. Interesting. Huh. Okay. Well, it was, there we go. I think that might have. So everything was fine on my end. I see it says unstable here. Yeah. Maybe when I accidentally get out that way, though. October 20th, yo, yeah. October 20th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 4. Also, it was so sad last time when we were talking about, like, this little kid, does he go to school and all that? I'm like, well, maybe it was summer. Like, this entire time, I keep reading, like, it says the date, and it's mid-October, but it shows you how much I pay attention to the date, even when reading it. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Okay. I know I've been terribly inconsistent with Edgeworth, and I'm going to continue to do so because I was thinking about it, and I don't think I like what I was doing there. So, the prosecution is ready, Your Honor. I want to go more high and arch if I can with it. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Today will be the final day of this trial. What was the sad part? You're not paying attention or the child delinquency? Me not paying attention and having a bad memory for it. He's in 2nd grade. You don't miss much if you're missing out on 2nd grade. I hope both the prosecution and the defense will be able to present decisive evidence. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement. In yesterday's session, the defense presented us with a new theory for this case. He claims that the scene of the crime was in fact Studio 2. Today I will call on people present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. From their testimonies, the truth will become clear. Very well. That's not what I wanted either. God damn it, Edgeworth. Part of the reason why I took Edgeworth back in the day was because I actually was very confident in that, but Edgeworth seems a bit on edge today. Looking back when I feel like I was brain dead from age 0 to 14. You may call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls Miss D. Vasquez to the stand. Miss D. Vasquez is a producer who was present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. I mean, it's also just harder when you are doing like 10 characters. I mean, a little bit. I could joke and say Phoenix isn't hard, but... Like, I wouldn't say it was quite that long, but there's definitely, like, those first few years of schooling. All of primary is more just easing you in. I think my voice is the emotion, so my kids all have one emotion. Will the witness state her name and occupation? D. Vasquez. I am a producer for Global Studios. On the day of the murder, you were in the trailer in Studio 2. As everyone here knows, yes? I dislike needless banter. If you must pontificate, do it when I'm not here. Very well, Miss Vasquez. Please give the court your testimony concerning the day of the murder. Nick, I know she did it. Make her pay. Right. If she's guilty, I'll catch her with her pants down, so to speak. Yeah, like, talking about this, for some reason, I mean, I think in this first game, Phoenix's ran a little bit hornier than most of the other ones anyways. Like, we had that thing with April May in the second case. But it's just very weird here. Poor Edgeworth, he's about to go 2 for 2 on coffee accidents. And we'll still be less than Phoenix won a couple games. Not Phoenix's fault, though. The day of the murder. I entered the trailer, a little before noon. The meeting began at 12 o'clock sharp. It ended at 4. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer. We found Hammer's body later when we all went to Studio 1. That's all.
I have a question about one part of your testimony. You were fatigued, so you had Sal take you.
The van. There's a van at Studio 2. I had him take me in that. I thought it might be a scooter walk, what with that monkey's head toppling over. Van added to the court record. Nelly used this van to drive Vasquez to Studio 1 after the meeting in the trailer.
I see. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
This is the final battle, Nick. Let's do it. The day of the murder. I entered the trailer, a little before noon. By yourself? Yes. And you didn't stop him at the employee area? You didn't stop in at the employee area? No. Are you always this terse? Yes. Oh dear. By yourself, no goon army. Not that she's gonna tell us anyways. She's playing that first one very smart though. She's like, well, Phoenix is going, try to get more, so she's just the single one-word thing, shooting him down. The meeting began at 12 o'clock sharp. It ended at 4. Did no one leave during the meeting? No one. Come on, let's talk a bit more about that. The witness did not come here to engage in idle conversation. Stop interrupting the testimony. The same could be said to you, Mr. Edgeworth. And please stop banging on your little desk. It hurts my ears. Oof. Also, I almost forgot. Objection. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. And when exactly was that? I've forgotten. Maybe you could try remembering? No. The meeting ended at 4 o'clock, and the rehearsal was scheduled for 5 o'clock. I would think it was between those times. You would think? Come on, all you did was state the obvious, Edgeworth. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. Hold on. You had Sal take you? What does that mean? It means what I just said. I had Sal take me in the Studio 2 van. Oh. Oh, right. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. And what were you doing during that time? Don't hit your desk. It irritates me. Yeah, Mr. Wright. Oops. When you press everything, it does also make PW look dumber. It is true. This is also one of those witnesses who is very clearly stonewalling him. It was a 15-minute break. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer. Do you have someone who can verify this? Sal? No, I mean someone else. Why did you do that? I was literally about to tell you that. One person is enough. She committed murder during that break. She would have had time to eat a T-bone steak. I had some evidence that proved she didn't eat that steak. Well, Nick, find anything? I kind of wish she'd said a little more. It's heard. I think she's pretty used to being the boss. But I'm sure you'll find some kind of contradiction in what she said. Somewhere. Oh. Is it the steak plate? Gaslight gatekeep girl boss. Oh man. Well, you know what? I haven't gotten any. Oh, the problem is if I get any wrong. Let's see. Let's make funny thing. Push that a little more. I pressed everything though, right? Press that. Press that. Press that. Press that. Press that. Press that. So I need to do an evidence here. I think this is steak plate time. It's weird, but because it doesn't seem like the right way to do that, but I didn't have to press her out of anything, so. And if not, we'll figure something else out, right? Okay. Good. Objection. We've entered the T-bone zone. Ha. As I thought. You claim you ate a T-bone steak. But I say, you did not.
What's this now, Mr. Wright?
Look at this.
It's a plate?
This plate was on the table in the employee area. As you can see, a large bone has been left behind. Mr. Wright, need I remind you it was a T-bone steak? Exactly my point. Remember, if you will, Miss Vasquez and Mr. Manella ate at a table outside the trailer. You say you did this, I say you didn't. And then there's still a bone left. You didn't eat the whole steak. Yet there were no bones left on the plates. The plates were bare. Hey, it's getting to her. Miss Vasquez. Tell me, how can a person eat a T-bone steak and not leave the bone? I think I know how. You ate the bone too. You ate a boneless steak. You didn't eat the steak. Oh man. They throw the bone away. This is pretty good though. I love both of these dumb answers. You ate a boneless steak. You ate the bone too. You didn't eat the steak. You didn't eat any steak during that break. You took your steak and threw it somewhere. Like that incinerator.
I see. Then what was Miss Vasquez doing during her break?
Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? Meeting the Steel Samurai, picking on salmonella. I mean, ¿por qué no los dos? She was meeting with the Steel Samurai. As we all know, Australia is a sign of poor spirit, therefore you're the murderer. Osphage?
Either way. Order. But are you saying...
Ah, makes sense. I mean, I got what you were going for, the eating of bone. Yeah. Yes, Your Honor. As Miss Vasquez left the trailer to eat her steak, she ran into the Steel Samurai. And then you did it. You killed him with your own hands. Osteophagy. Yeah, that works much better.
Mr. Wright, isn't that a little presumptuous?
What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, Wright? Let him claim what he wants. You say I did it? Yes. Fascinating. And here I was worrying that today would be as boring as all the rest. Very well. Let us have a battle of wits, you and I. Any day, Vasquez. Good luck, Nick. Let's see. What was that murder weapon again? Oh yes, the samurai spear. Yes? I am, as you can see, a woman of petite stature. How could I possibly use that heavy spear as a weapon? I think you could. You couldn't, could you? I don't know. You couldn't, could you? I think you would have a great deal of difficulty using that as a weapon. Pretty much anyone would. You see. Ms. Vasquez, do not play chicken against the man with no brakes. It is true. Yes. However, that has no bearing on this case. Meaning, the samurai spear was not the murder weapon. What?
What is the meaning of this? The spear was found lying next to the victim's body.
I have proof, Your Honor. I can prove that the samurai spear was not used as the murder weapon. I mean, I don't think this is proof about the samurai spear not being used as a murder weapon. It's just proof of another potential murder weapon. I'm pretty sure it's gotta be this. Oh, never mind.
Wrong, Mr. Wright.
But I haven't said anything yet.
Well, I know you well enough by now to know when you're going to present the wrong evidence.
I can sense it too, with my Fey blood. Okay, so I picked the wrong evidence. Enough with all the sensing. Oh, because it was broken. Right. Okay, here's the real evidence, Your Honor. Prove that the samurai spear was not used as the murder weapon. I present my proof. The so-called murder weapon. But that is the murder weapon. Not so fast. Remember that this spear broke during the morning action scene run-through. But someone fixed the spear. It was the security lady. She fixed it with duct tape. Now tell me, how is it possible for someone to stab a man who was wearing a thick costume with this through the chest? See, I got this wrong because, as anyone who's worked with duct tape knows, Phoenix is wrong here. That duct tape would definitely have held up better than the costume would have.
Order! Order!
Especially because if you're working on a movie set, usually they have the good stuff. Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Think about what you're... Silence. I'm the one testifying here, and I will be heard. Are you quite sane? Are you even aware of what you're saying? If the samurai spear was not the murder weapon, then pray tell what was. How was Hammer killed? I mean, I already tried to do that earlier, but I was getting ahead of myself. Shame on me.
Well, Mr. Wright, can you tell us what weapon was used to kill Mr. Hammer?
I can tell you. Would I make a claim like that if I couldn't tell you what the weapon was? The answer is yes. Phoenix 100% would yes.
I'm afraid your confidence can sometimes be unfounded, Mr. Wright. Very well, let's see this murder weapon then.
Alright. Now it's time for the photo. Really gilding the lily here, Nick. Look at this photograph. Every time you do, it'll make you... No. Look at this photo.
What is this? Why, that's Jack Hammer standing at the top of the stairs. Order, order. I cannot have order. This trial will be suspended. Mr. Wright, what is this all about?
This photograph is from 5 years ago. There was an unfortunate accident at Global Studios. This is a photo of that very accident. Not a word of this was leaked to the outside. It was a close-kept secret at the studios. What does that have? What does this have to do with the current case? Mr. Edgeworth, you still can't see it. See the fallen man in this photo? See how the fence post pierced him through the chest. What are you saying? Yes. What happened 5 years ago has happened again. Yes, the fence is the murderer.
Mr. Wright, continue.
It's 2:30 p.m. on the day of the murder. Miss D. Vasquez meets Jack Hammer outside the Studio 2 trailer. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stairs onto the fence. Indefensible. Just like Mr. Hammer had himself done 5 years ago. Fence, the defense did it. I mean, I could see the judge falling for that logic. Though whether she did it on purpose or by accident, I cannot say. In other words, the victim, Mr. Hammer, he died in the same way that he caused another man to die. 5 years ago. Precisely. Ironic, isn't it? Oh, very creative, Mr. Wright. I could use a man like you on my script writing staff. You deny that what I say is true. Mr. Wright, let's say, for the sake of argument, that Hammer died at the trailer as you say. Yes, the body was found at Studio One, was it not? And in the evil magistrate's costume, no less. Are you then claiming that I carried the body to Studio One and returned to the trailer, all in the space of a 15-minute break? How could I have disposed of the body? The break in the meeting at the trailer lasted 15 minutes, from 2:30 to 2:45. Could Jack Hammer have been pushed off the stairs to his death, then carried to Studio One and placed inside his costume? There wasn't enough time.
Indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, how could she have dealt with the body?
She couldn't deal with it. I bet she could move it. She had another way. This is the van, right? Is the van... I bet she could move it, or she had another way. It's probably she had another way, right? Because I bet she could move it is still implying that she moved it. But she had another way is talking... I'm gonna guess it's she had another way is what it's aiming at here. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. What if she had another way to carry the body, other than with her own hands? For instance... Actually, for that matter, there was no need for her to do the deed in 15 minutes. And there was a way for you to carry that body. Interesting. Let's hear it then.
Mr. Wright, please show us how she carried the body.
I mean, we entered it into evidence earlier. Van. Miss Vasquez, you carried the body to Studio One, and you used the studio van to do it. Recall your testimony. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio One. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. There was a van there, right? I had Sal drive me. You used the van to carry the body to Studio One. Then, before everyone else got there, you put the body into the magistrate costume. Hold on, Wright. Don't forget, it was Salmonella that drove the van. Are you suggesting that Mr. Manella was a conspirator? I mean, let's throw him under the bus anyways, why not? Of course Salmonella has to have been a conspirator. He's an awful dude. The body had to be placed in the van and put into the costume. There's no way Miss Vasquez could have done that alone. Also, don't forget that they had to dispose of the Steel Samurai costume. They had to, because it was covered in Mr. Hammer's blood. They probably burned it in that small incinerator. Well, Miss Vasquez, shall I continue? No need. You're smarter than you look, Mr. Wright. I lose. You win. It was fun. I win? So what happens next? Don't question mark me. Don't you have anything to say? What would you like me to say? Huh? I lost? Something like that? I just said that. Wait, so you mean... D. Vasquez. So it was you. You killed Jack Hammer. Who can say? Huh? Are you sure I did? Mr. Wright, we just engaged in a battle of wits, and the result of that battle, you proved the possibility that I murdered Hammer. They never make it easy. No, they really... I mean, and even in the first cases, it's super easy, and then they fight you enough to make it just easy, but... Right? But that is only a possibility. Proof is another thing altogether. You lack decisive proof, Mr. Wright. Woo, what?
Order. Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts?
Uh, of course, it's as the witness says. Certainly, it does seem very likely she did it, but, there's no proof.
Edgeworth isn't sure. Well, I came here as a witness today. If you've no more questions, I'll be leaving. What do I do now? You did it, Vasquez. No further questions, Vasquez. Testify again, Vasquez. I mean, I think the only thing we can do is tell her to testify again. I'd like you to testify again.
Testify again?
Know when to give up, Mr. Wright. Think about it. Even if I were to testify again, what's the point? I can only say what I said before. The truth, Mr. Wright. I've already said all there is to say. What kind of cockamamie 4D chess is this? This is Phoenix Wright. What would happen if I said it again? You'd ask the same questions, get the same answers. A waste of time. Damn. Come so far only to fail.
As it seems there are no further questions, I would like to end the cross-examination of the witness, Miss Vasquez.
It begins. I take back my statement yesterday. Sass is now wouldn't.
Oh, yes, Mr. Edgeworth.
I was hoping to come up with a question while I was objecting, Your Honor. Oh, I forgot Edgeworth said that. One of Edgeworth's rare, legitimate Phoenix moments. I didn't.
I see. Very well.
Oh, it's a good joke there. Oh, man. Sometimes it's the little things.
Your Honor, I request that the witness testify again.
You are the prosecutor, are you not? Why are you badgering me? I'm your witness. I just want to hear your testimony again. Does this make any sense to you, Your Honor? I don't see that we have anything to gain by repeating the last several minutes.
Mr. Edgeworth, I too see little point in making Miss Vasquez repeat herself. What exactly did you want her to testify about?
Well, yes, indeed. Verily, I say, ergo. I want to hear about what happened after they found the body.
After they found the body? Oh, very well. The witness will testify to the court concerning this matter.
Nick, why did Edgeworth...
Who knows? He probably realized she did it too.
But, wasn't he the one that said he always gets a guilty verdict? After all that...
Edgeworth. I mean, he already had his streak broken, so... After finding the body... I was with Sal and Oldbag, the security lady, when we found the body. The assistant was there too. Only Powers was absent. I immediately called the police. Then Powers showed up. The security lady, Oldbag, was quite agitated, pointing at Powers, saying he did it. I asked to be left out of the proceedings. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. Then I went home. Nothing like prosecution coming from behind with a steel chair. Yeah, really.
I see no issues raised by this testimony. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
Okay, Nick, we're close. Real close. She may be acting tough now, but if you put her on the spot, she's sure to falter. Find the key you need and twist the truth out of her, Nick.
Right. After finding the body. I was with Sal and Oldbag, the security lady, when we found the body. What time was that? We were to meet at 5 o'clock for the rehearsal. I'd say it was then. When exactly did you and Mr. Manella arrive at the studio? About 10 minutes before. I wasn't stuffing any bodies into costumes, mind you. Press harder, back off. I mean, I guess we can press harder. I don't think there's a penalty for it. Where were the other employees when you got to the studio? They weren't there yet. Well, then you could have put Hammer in that costume, with Salmonella's help. Oh, what did I just say? Did I not just say I wasn't stuffing any bodies into any costumes? You should try to listen to what people are saying, boy. Boy?
Oh, the witness will continue her testimony.
The assistant was there too. Only Powers was absent. Mr. Powers was taking a nap, correct? So he says. Did no one go to call him? Remember, Remember what?
There was a dead body lying in front of us, yet you expect me to be calm?
You certainly seem calm enough when I accuse you of murder. Well, we can press harder. Wait a second. Wouldn't that be the other way around?
The other way around?
You discovered a murdered body and one person was missing, right? Wouldn't you normally go looking for the missing person?
I'll have to agree with the defense on this one. Well, Miss Vasquez?
Logically speaking, perhaps. But no one there was thinking very logically, I assure you. Also, without his steel samurai costume, Powers doesn't really stand out. We often left him on the bus when shooting at location. No one noticed he was missing.
Poor Powers. Well, I suppose that explains that. Very well, Miss Vasquez. You may continue.
I immediately called the police. Then Powers showed up.
What was everyone else doing at that time?
No one said a thing. It was silent. Completely silent. So we stood there until Powers finally arrived on the scene. Sorry, I'm late. Then, silence. Dead silence. Silence.
Hey Nick, why is everyone so quiet? Someone should do something to lighten things up.
The security lady, Old Bag, was quite agitated, pointing at Powers, saying he did it.
Old Bag, security lady. Why did the security lady think Powers had done it?
She said because she saw him going toward the studio.
Right. Steel Samurai. Ooh. Sorry about that. Press harder.
Did the detective arrest Mr. Powers based solely on the security lady's word? Perhaps not. She seems to have also given the detective that photograph. Of course, I heard all of this after the fact.
That photograph, being the one taken by the security camera.
She's not known for exhibiting the best sense of judgment when it comes to Hammer.
I don't think there's anything in there I can use. Ooh.
I asked to be left out of the proceedings.
Oh, whoops, my bad. You asked to be left out?
Yes. It seems that everyone else was questioned, and I'm really not fond of that sort of thing.
But you can't just decide who the police will and won't question.
Thankfully, the studio thinks otherwise. They were nice enough to understand that, since we were in a meeting, there was no way we could have been involved. Thus, they covered for us.
Covered for you? Or covered it up for you? There must have been a lot riding on it with all those bigwigs at the meeting. I'm sure her professionals helped convince everyone they didn't require understanding.
I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes.
The script and your direction notes?
Yes, they're quite valuable. It wouldn't do to have them stolen.
No, I guess not. Press harder. Wait a second. I thought you came to Studio 1 for a rehearsal. Why didn't you bring your script and notes? Well, I was under the impression that we wouldn't be able to rehearse anything. Why? There was a murder after all. Oh, she done goofed? Who could think of rehearsing after that? Oh, yeah, I guess.
Very well. Miss Vasquez, please continue.
Oh. Edgeworth is doing our job for us. Ooh. Oh, God, I hit the wrong thing. I think everything's fine, though. Your Honor, I have an objection to the witness's last statement. Huh? Think. Miss Vasquez said she didn't bring the script because there wouldn't be a rehearsal. Don't you see what that means? She would have had to know about the murder before going to Studio 1.
Order, order. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what you have just said is a reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. Or are you thinking of a career change in defense?
I appreciate the concern, Your Honor. I will stand by my statement, however, regardless of how the court sees my role here. Now, Miss Vasquez, do you have an explanation? Can't believe Edgeworth is helping me. Edgeworth may be getting disparaged, but by God, he's going to get a guilty verdict out of someone. Believe it or not, you can't beat disparaged in Phoenix Universe. Even though, based on how clown shoes these court proceedings would be, I could see how you might think that might not be the case. So the prosecution is in cahoots with the defense. What kind of court is this? No matter. I think you misunderstood me. I had a perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal.
Very well. The witness will change your testimony to reflect this reason.
I knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I left them behind. How did you know about the injury? How did I know? Sal. He told me. Sal, the director.
You have to find something to peg this on her, or everything we've done until now will have been wasted. I believe in you, Nick. Go get him.
Hammer was injured and couldn't do it. Oh. Right. Duh, I almost didn't read that. Is it this photo? Because the trick here is she's saying Hammer was injured, and it wasn't Hammer, it was Powers, right? It's gotta be this photo. This is the only thing that makes sense. Man, I have to admit, I think I'm getting a little bit tired. Because I was up a little bit earlier today than I thought, but we can get through the end of this case, though. You knew that Hammer was injured. Don't you think that's a little funny? I mean, It was the Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers. What?
Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Yes, Mr. Hammer is dragging his leg in this photo, but that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Pretending. One person was injured in the run-through that morning. That person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Now, why did you think it was Mr. Hammer who was injured? I already said it was Sal who told me. That's right. He must have gotten it wrong. I think not. Mr. Manella was at the run-through that morning. He would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured. He saw it happen. Why would he tell you the wrong person? Miss Vasquez. You heard Mr. Manella wrong. You saw Hammer limping. Actually, you didn't hear anything from Mr. Manella. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes.
Yes, but wasn't it Mr. Powers who was injured?
Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg too. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers.
Oh,
And when was he doing this? Well, it would have to have been after he put on the Steel Samurai costume and went to Studio 2, where he was murdered. Exactly. Miss Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Hammer was in that Steel Samurai suit. That's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning.
order, order. I will have order.
Witness. Can you refute this claim? Yeah, let's see you sneak out of this one, Vasquez. Very well. I have a question for you. Why are the real killers always so persistent? Why in the world would I want Mr. Hammer dead? Yes, he'd fallen on hard times, but he was a star. I had nothing to gain from his death. Nothing.
Yes, you will need a motive. Why would you have killed the victim? If there was a reason, it is unclear to this court. Does the defense have anything to say on the matter? In other words, can you prove she had a motive?
Okay. So, the trick here is that she actually doesn't have a motive. And I think I can say that now. But maybe it's supposed to be we can prove it, but we prove that it's the... No. No. This must be, of course I can prove it. I think I'm thinking ahead again. Okay. I have proof. I'll show it to you. I present to the court evidence as to Miss Vasquez's motive in this murder. The trick is that she doesn't have a motive for murder in the true sense of that. It's a motive for something a little bit different. This is my proof.
This is that photo from before. The photo from before.
This photo reveals the motive in this murder. I'm right, aren't I, Miss Vasquez? Oof. 5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the height of his fame. With D. Vasquez's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case currently up for trial. It began on that day, 5 years ago. Ironically enough, that accident precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall. His fall from stardom. His guilt weighed him down, no doubt. However, you, D. Vasquez, used Mr. Hammer. You made him work for you for petty change. Oof. Bringing us to the present day and Mr. Hammer's last role as the evil magistrate. Yes, undoubtedly, it was a constant source of shame for the ex-star.
One moment, Mr. Wright. We are talking about motives here. Yet you have only talked about Mr. Hammer. It almost seems as if it was Mr. Hammer who had killed D. Vasquez, not the other way around. What motive would Miss Vasquez have?
Yes, that's right. According to what you say, I would have had no reason to kill Hammer. He was a good source of income for me. And I never get rid of useful men. It's a policy of mine.
Mr. Wright, please explain Miss Vasquez's motive for murder.
Real evidence she had no motive. Okay, I think this was where I was getting ahead of myself, and this is where I say she had no motive. She had no motive, Your Honor.
What's that now?
It was Mr. Hammer who was out for blood. All Miss Vasquez did was push him off the stairs in self-defense.
What's that now?
It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Miss Vasquez.
What?
Your Honor, Jack Hammer drugged Mr. Powers with sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole the Steel Samurai costume. Jack Hammer wore the costume to fool the security lady into thinking he was Powers. Then Jack Hammer made his way to the trailer. And for what purpose, you ask? To kill D. Vasquez, who had so cruelly taken advantage of him all those years. Oh, she snapped her pipe. So, you did do it, didn't you? And now she looks weirdly at peace after that. Like she has the angry thing, but then once we're past it. Yes, I am guilty. It was me. Someone call an ambulance. There's blood everywhere. We're too late.
Miss Vasquez.
What happened here? Manuel fell from the trailer stairs. I think there's bigwigs there too. Oh no, okay. Oh, okay. This is in the past.
Manuel fell from the trailer stairs.
Manuel.
Miss Vasquez, please try to remain calm.
No. How could this?
It was an accident.
Mr. Hammer was doing an action scene and...
No. Manuel. Manuel. No.
Oh, wait. Don't touch him, Miss Vasquez.
No. Please. Please don't die. Please. Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose. Again.
Mr. Edgeworth, where's the Vasquez?
In the waiting lobby, Your Honor, as calm and collected as ever.
I see. Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor?
it appears you have brought about yet another miracle.
I thank you, Your Honor? I think not, Your Honor. Will Powers was innocent. That he should be found so is only natural, not a miracle.
Yes, you're right. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, not guilty.
Yay, confetti!
That is all. This court is adjourned.
October 20th, 1:12 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3.
I don't know what to say. Thank you so much.
I'm just glad you're okay.
Yes, but it's sad. I know now that Mr. Hammer stole my costume. It's bad enough that he wanted to kill Miss Vasquez, but to think that he tried to frame me for the murder, it makes me sad. Tell me why, Mr. Wright.
Huh?
Tell me, why did Mr. Hammer want to blame me?
Oh no, show evidence? Well, this is what I think. Mr. Hammer wanted to put the blame on you because... I think this is how we show, like, he was jealous. It's... Jesus, he's like a lichen Mickey Rourke. But also not a badass, specifically. Like, he looks this way, but he doesn't act this way. It's because you were the Steel Samurai.
Because I was the Steel Samurai?
Mr. Hammer was a big star once, but he was reduced to acting in a kid's show, and as the villain to boot. The kids loved the Steel Samurai, and so he hated you.
I think I understand. You could have just told me. I would have changed places with him any time.
I think you're missing the point.
Thank you. I'm just glad it's all over.
So am I. So am I.
Congratulations, WP.
Oh, thanks to you, I'll be able to don the Steel Samurai outfit once more. I can't wait to get back into that sweaty costume and...
So that kid just witnessed Hammer falling on a fence and mistook it for a fight scene? Yeah, that's the implication. He did say it was from a distance.
Is something wrong?
No, of course not. Ah, Nick. Edgeworth.
Say something, right? I'm not good at small talk. Huh? What? That was too bad, Edgeworth. You don't waste any time gloating, do you? No. I really want to thank you. Vasquez would have gone away if you hadn't stepped in. Front-facing Edgeworth is such a cursed image. It is kind of weird. You just get so used to seeing it from a side profile.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Powers. It's new.
Ah! Edgeworth. I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Powers. Liar. Right. I must say, I hadn't expected to meet you again after all these years.
Meet again?
However, in retrospect, it would have been better had we not met. Thanks to you, I am saddled with unnecessary feelings. This right here, there's a lot of lines that get the ship and the fangirls going. This one's probably like the major first line, though. Unnecessary feelings? Yes. Unease and uncertainty. Aren't those kind of necessary? They only serve to get in my way. You listen to me, Phoenix Wright. Don't ever show your face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you. Let's go to more children's crossword puzzle.
Mr. Wright, was that guy your friend?
What? Friends? As if. They're rivals. Rivals, right, Nick?
For now, we are, I guess.
Huh? Why do I get the feeling I'm missing something? Come on, Nick. Tell me. What's the deal with you and Edgeworth?
And so the curtain closed on another trial. I caused quite a stir by revealing that accident from 5 years ago. It was the talk of the town. Thankfully, Global Studios rethought its programming change. They went back to making kids shows again. Oh, they did it.
Nick! This is it. The new show starts today. You're going to watch it with me, right?
I'll admit, I was kind of surprised. I didn't think they'd seriously go through with it.
You have to buy trading cards too, okay? We have to trade with Cody and that assistant.
Fine, I'll do it.
Isn't it great that WP gets to play the lead again? I wonder if they'll show his real face this time.
I dunno. I don't think the world is ready for the real Will Powers. What's the deal between me and Edgeworth? It involves butts, but not Larry. Actually, amusingly, it does involve Larry too, who we will get to see again in a bit. A brand new episode has been added. Alright. Well, it's a little early, but I am tired. And also, I'm pretty sure nothing is short about this case. This one coming up, episode 4, Turnabout Goodbyes, was actually the original final case in the original first Ace Attorney, the first Phoenix Wright game. Well, actually, I should just say the first Ace Attorney, because when they remade it for the DS, and they also brought it over and localized it, that was when they bundled in the 5th case. So this one's going to like tie together some loose ends. We'll get to find out what the deal is with Phoenix and Edgeworth. have some other neat things happen. And then the fifth case is a monster because basically, instead of making it just a standalone case, they wanted to make it like a standalone case that's also kind of like a mini game into itself almost. Because the way these games are set up, usually the big case is actually kind of like 2 to 3 cases in one, where it's a couple like mini cases that inform the big case at the end. So for case 5, they just tried to beat, they were like, well, let's just do the whole thing like that. But that's far in the future. For now, I'm going to wrap up here. But thanks for hanging out. I finally got something wrong, although I didn't get any points wrong for that, and we didn't have any false objections yet, so at least there's that. I was getting ahead of myself. Honestly, I expect that to happen more often as we go. I was Googling Ace Attorney, and it automatically says AC Attorney Clown. Fortunately, there's not a clown in this Ace Attorney game. This one. Alright. Well, thanks for hanging out. Good night, everyone. Sleep well.